Hi, everybody. Welcome to Huddle Time with Ronit. It's Monday afternoon. It's 1 o'clock in Central Time. It's 2 p.m. in Eastern Time, and it is 11 a.m. right here in Seattle. And it is a little bit of a gray day. And clouds are still hanging out there. The sun is trying to come really through. It's beautiful. This whole week it's going to be 80 degrees, and this week is a big challenge for me because I'm going to try paddleboard this week. I've always wanted to try paddleboard, and I tried it once, and I just fell off it. So this time, this is what I'm going to do this week. So everybody, as you're chiming in, I want to welcome everybody to Huddle Time with Ronit. We have a really great guests today at our show. I'm so excited about them. We're going to be talking about two sides of our industry. We're going to look at what's going on right now in the eyes of our stylists. How is it for them to work on a daily routine? What are they doing to win the game of personalization? How do we get close to clients? How do we get close to our staff? It's really difficult, as you might have experienced out there, to connect with your staff. Some of you might have split shifts. Some of you might have same shifts. Some of you have working on 3 days at a time and the other 4 days of the week. So it's all in a different way of doing business right now. And while it's all great because we're adapting to it and we're getting, we're adjusting and we're trying different things, I'd love to share with you, what does it take to really connect? What does it take these days to connect other than Zoom? How do we do it and how we become really successful? And at the same time, we're going to have another great guest that is a salon owner, and they both work together. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about them in just a few minutes. But until you're coming in, I just want to say hello to everybody and welcome you to Huddle Time with Ronit. And thank you for tuning in into American's Beauty Show, our partner by Cosmetologists of Chicago. And each Monday for a session, a helpful session, we bring to you a lot of inspiration, knowledge, and some great experts in the industry and outside of the industry. And for anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Ronit Enos. And I will be your host today, and I am the host of Huddle Time with Ronit. Now, we run a great company. It's a teaching and implementation coaching company called Salon Cadence. We focus on wealth and freedom, and we coach that through our special program. I'm the founder of Salon Cadence, so I am really excited to talk about our very special guest today, which is Scott, Allison, and Anika. Both are working at S Salon in Alaska, Fairbanks, Alaska, and they are one of our members at Salon Cadence, which they have been for the past 2 years. So I'm really excited to bring these heroes and how their story could impact or help you with your story right now is what I'm looking to do today. So that's my mission. So tune in. Hey, Anika, how you doing? Hi, Scott, how are you?
Hi, doing well.
Oh, good. Come closer because I can't hear you very well. Welcome to Huddle Time with Ronit. How you guys been?
We've been great. Thanks for having us. How can you hear us now?
Much better.
Okay.
Much better. If you get a little bit closer to Anika, I can see the two of you together because we're splitting the screen. Oh, look at that. That looks perfect. Awesome. So Scott, Anika, how things are at Fairbanks? How's the weather right now at Fairbanks? I mean, the one thing that I love so much about this time of the year, and I don't know if it's already because we spent, a couple of years ago together, we spent 4 days together. And the best part of the whole spending the time together, other than spending time together, is that the day never ends. So how is it now?
Right now, we're kind of making that transition into winter. So we got fall starting. Leaves are just starting to fall. And it's just beautiful outside right now. It's still nice and kind of warm. We're getting used to having regular sleep hours where the sun's coming up about 6:30. So it's kind of nice.
The days are ending. The sun is setting, and learning to drive again in the dark, that's a whole adjustment that you kind of forget. And then all of a sudden you're driving, you're like, oh, wait, it's dark outside.
My little girl's like, Daddy, it's dark. It's dark, Daddy.
Yeah, well, it is gets dark. So what time does the sun set now?
I want to say it's like 10 o'clock, maybe 9:30 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it every day it's going to just now go back by like minute and a minute and a minute until?
I think it's 7 minutes a day.
7 minutes.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Up until December 21st on the darkest day, and then it starts heading in the opposite direction.
Pretty much compound interest for for daylight.
So how long do you actually have your dark days? So from the 21st until April, would you say it's pretty dark?
I would say the end of November, you start really being like, oh, it's dark out. And then middle of February, you start to feel like it's getting semi back to normal. By spring, the snow will still be on the ground, but the sun will be up till like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So
you start getting hope around February, March, and it teases you until April. The sun before the warmth. That's what the tease is, I guess.
Yes. Well, it's still frozen, and I remember you still have snow in May, so that's quite extensive. But the sun does come out, which makes it a really difference. Here in Seattle, we have our sunset at 9 o'clock at night, which is really nice. It's beautiful. The days are really long, and it's great. And the weather is so amazing, anywhere between like the middle of June all the way to the beginning of October. And then it's rain, right? So that's when we are hitting the road and we're going to be chasing the sun. Nice. That's what we're doing this year.
That's awesome stuff.
Yeah, we're so excited about it. So Scott, Anika, I'm so happy to have you. You guys have been Salon Cadence members now for 2 years, and so it's been really nice to share your world. And I would love to share with everybody else, Scott, how did you start your passion? Because you didn't start as a hairdresser. None of us starting as a hairdresser. A lot of us are really not knowing what we want to do when we start. But you knew that that's what you wanted to do. So how did you come in, if you can share with us?
Yeah, I knew it was the environment. I loved going out of high school after the school was out, going to the salon and hanging out, and just the vibe, the creativity, the enjoyment, the joy that was around. I just extremely attracted to that. And so I got in the industry, worked commissioned hairstylist, went to Vidal Sassoon first in Santa Monica, which was an amazing opportunity. Kind of came back and forth to Alaska, in between Seattle, managed a salon in Seattle, and ultimately came back to Fairbanks because I love it here and I love the community, and there's no other place where I'd want to grow a business. So coming back to Fairbanks about 12 years ago, I was a hairstylist behind the chair trying to build up my clientele again after moving multiple times. And then I worked there for a while and wanted to go become an independent stylist because I saw that other side and thought that that's what I wanted. And so I was an independent contractor for about 1.5 years, and business opportunities kept coming my way. The lady that owned the salon actually was trying to sell it, and checking out the balances of what I'd be buying and all that kind of stuff. I thought maybe it'd be best if I started my company by buying the building and then filling it with hairstylists. So I was extremely blessed that my family and my dad and mom bought into me pretty big chunk of money to be able to buy a beautiful piece of land on Cushman Street, downtown Fairbanks, which is right across the street from our city hall, and has gotten kind of revamped, and the tourism is just great around here, and the aura around here is just amazing. So at that point, we opened up the salon as a booth renting company, and we were really busy and had fun. It was kind of like college dorm days, all the top hairstylists in town coming together, and some cool things happened. Through the time, though, I did realize that career paths weren't really a focal point of independent contractors, and no blame to them because we're all working on being a hairstylist and making that paycheck and building our clients, especially independently without a front desk person. So that led me to getting coaching and understanding different kind of pay structures. I chose hourly because I really like the ability to watch people grow as the numbers grew side by side. There's just kind of a parallel line that makes sense to great behavior of a hairstylist. And so over the last 2 years, I've been working with Salon Cadence, and we've been doing a lot of things that have been really progressive. And I have a really progressive team that we really focus on communication and talking it out. And it's not always easy, but you got to filter those emotions, and then beautiful things happen from it. So we're coming back from coronavirus, and I have a team that's wanting to build something that's just more than a couple of hairstylists, I guess.
I love that. I love that, Scott. You know, we salon owners have so much passion, and all we want is to grow a community. That's like our biggest passion. We want to grow our community, and we want to do a lot of things, right? But when we find out that everything we want to do, you know, you go into it so strongly and opening a salon, and you have all your hopes. You want to have more things that you can offer your staff. You want to grow big. You have those big dreams of having more freedom in your life, and you want to have obviously much larger money so you can provide your family and you provide with your friends and your community. You have dreams about being a bigger entrepreneurs, not maybe reinvest in other businesses and grow, because we are entrepreneurs in heart, and we want to deliver a lot of really beauty to our customers and community. We've got so much, but then we open the salon, we start all of that, and then boom, before you know it, many times the salon becomes the biggest source of stress in our life, and it's not delivering to our dreams. And so I wonder if you ever wonder, is this always going to be that way, or is things can get easier? I'm sure a lot of our listeners would agree that that's what happens. So what in your eyes you think these days, especially these days, under COVID? And Anika, this is a great question for you too. What do you guys think is the key to keep going and keep getting into the other side? And how can we reinvent or reimagine our company, or what will make it easy for great salons to thrive?
I definitely think setting clear goals and finding the path to achieve those goals is the number one thing. And then just having that team mentality of getting there together, pick your goal, create a plan, and then just attack it together.
Yeah, and talk about it and keep hitting goals and striving and rewarding and moving forward. Communication.
Yeah. So why do you think that this is something that is hard for salons to actually get to that nirvana?
I think it's the mentality going into it. You know, a lot of the time when you are in like a booth rental salon, a commission salon, your mentality is more like, I'm going to make as much money as possible. And when you have that, it's harder to see outside of that. So I think being able to just go into it with a team mindset and like, I'm here for you, you're here for me, let's do this together, and it's to better everybody's lives. I think that's really important.
Yeah, I agree. I think whether it's a booth rent or a suite or a single or individual, there's great future for any one of them. And there's always going to be people that are really need to be as an individual or practice their art in one room or so. But the truth is, we are a human species. We need community. We need thrive, right? So it's nice to have us all together in one room and do very well. And if we can get the same results, then why not work all together? So, but I know it's just kind of like I don't know. What do you think? I think it's like matching date, right? How many of us are filling up that profile on Match.com and we don't successfully find our our beautiful partner, the dream, isn't that the same of running a salon? It's like finding the right people. And how do you find the right people? What do you do? Or what do you think is how can we thrive and get to the point where we have that success?
Yeah. So a lot of things go through my mind as I think about, what kind of teams it takes to survive, especially in today's time. We're artists, and it's a lot more fun to do art in a room of people. And if you're doing a class or however you're doing it and be inspired from each other, then go do art by yourself and see what happens, because you don't really get to bounce those ideas off of each other. Creativity does slow down a little. So education, communication, always pushing our art form, I think, is one of our main focus. Like, we really pride ourselves on how the client looks at the end of the day. So based around that, we support each other as far as our timing goes, to have each other's back, to provide that and keep the fluidity all happening. That's been really big coming back from COVID, because everything's such a time crunch. We really need to do a lot of things to be safe and sanitary. We're really trying to fulfill that role without having to take away time from behind the chair with the guests. So working together as artists is something unique happens from that. And then, yeah, when brains have ideas and there's a place for them to be able to incubate and create this idea, a lot of wonderful things happen. And I think that's why we're able to thrive right now, is because from day one, S Salon's always been focused on community and our beauty industry and our stylists, and doing a lot of extracurricular activities with it to always keep the flame going. So I feel like our flame is really strong when it comes to those things, and that's what makes us really unique right now, and come together as a team, because we're all like, we're doing this for everything, for our communities, for our family, for our time,
Yeah. So you're sharing the same values. You're sharing the same commonality between all of you. Anika, you've been in the industry now for how long?
I've been licensed for 5 years.
Yeah, and you've been with Scott for almost 3 years at S Salon, and you started with a dream. You had a dream. There was a reason there. You're a mother. You're a wife. You work nonstop during COVID. I've seen you just work like everybody else, night and day, to make sure that you guys are welcoming back your clients and all in safety. How are you managing, and how do you keep, as a stylist, you're a mentor, an educator in your salon, how do you keep the bind together, and how do you keep the motivation and the inspiration every day to come to the salon right now?
I think that during quarantine and just being away from our clients is the motivation behind it. You're at home thinking about your clients. What are they doing? How are they dealing with it? And then like coming back and being able to see them again and just be like, yes, we're in this together. We all made it through. And we got this no matter what happens. I think that that's a big motivation. There's lots of people who their hair makes or breaks their day. And so going however long without getting it done really affected some people. So now they're coming in, they're happy to be here. I'm happy to see them. And I think that's a huge motivation. And going from working my dream job to just being at home, it really made you appreciate what you had and what's coming back. So yeah, I'm just grateful to be in the salon and be able to make people feel beautiful, continue those connections. Yeah.
That's great. Scott, same thing for you. You're a salon owner. I know we keep working on that screen. So you're a salon owner, and you have a lot on your plate. You're a father. You have one child. Haley is working nonstop, just like everybody else. And you have to lead. You have to create a whole new business model, because right now it is all new. What are the things that you had to do that are new, that you have to embrace, you had to adapt, you had to make changes within your business model, in your routine? What are the things that worked, and what are the things that didn't work? And how do you learn from them, and how do you apply it back? Because you have such a successful salon. You went from, not being profitable to be very profitable, to even be more profitable after COVID-19. And so, or during COVID-19. what are the things that makes it work? And what are the things that you tried that didn't, that you felt on your face and you tried again?
Yeah, loaded question.
Layered.
Yeah. So ultimately, yeah, we have a whole new look on our business. I feel like the business model we've actually been developing for 2 years and working and understanding, working with Salon Cadence and all the different programs that you have set up, from really figuring out our why and having all staff meetings and figuring out everybody else's why, and then taking the focus off of, oh my God, are we going to pay rent, to, oh my God, are they going to live their why? Because I'm trying to live my why, because I'm fortunate enough to be in the industry for such a long time and have my building for such a long time that the overhead has been paid for down a little bit more versus salons that are just starting and have that big, first upfront chunk, which took a long time. So I'm really thankful for all the opportunities with all the stylists that came to the salon in the beginning and rented chairs for a couple of years and was able to pay some of that down. So now you basically hit it on the head with the routine. That's probably one of the biggest things that I've changed. During COVID, it was chill out for the first 2 weeks and then work on the business, but work on it from home, from the computer, from my mindset. Start getting up, working out, journaling about the people I care about, and really trying to interlock all my relationships, and pretty much, exit some relationships that were taking a little too much time, that weren't going in my overall view and mission and, things like that. So we have a really unique, great group of stylists here that all have each other's back during that time. So we've been working on this business model for 2 years, and I feel coming back from COVID, we really took it serious on the value of our time and what we provide to our guests. We realized during COVID how much they valued us. I really appreciate our guests coming in and buying things and gift certificates. And when we came back, we had to adjust quite a bit when it comes to timing, especially in sanitation. We were able to work the books in such a way that we're trying to provide the best lifestyle for the stylist from the moment they come in the salon. Like, what service do you want to provide, and what service can you double book, and then what is the next service, and what's going to be the most profitable for you and for us and for moving things forward, but the most relaxed and energetic and creative day at the same time. So we've been working on the business, but since COVID, it really puts a reset button. We got to just push reset on our books and then start adjusting and building our books how we want and training on how we should be doing it, and on and on and on and on.
Yeah. You too, Anika. Do you find that the shift in the thinking, like when you went back home and you guys were in a lockdown, suddenly there were a lot of wonderful things. You got to spend time with your daughter. You got to spend time with your family. You got to spend time. I know it was hard. It was like tormenting between two worlds. How was it for you when you were in a lockdown?
At first, I'm sure everyone feels this way, but it felt so unreal. It felt like, is this really happening right now? And when we first shut down, it was March 21st, and we were told maybe April 1st was when things were going to open back up. And obviously that didn't happen. It just kept getting pushed further and further and further. And so with not knowing when the end was, I really had to shift my mentality of, I'm just hanging out until the sun opens up, to, okay, well, we're not just hanging out. This is life for a while. And I needed to, you go from being a working mom to a stay-at-home mom, where you have all of this time and you kind of start going a little crazy, a little stir crazy. So I started focusing that energy into, keeping the house clean, working out. And then I was like, well, I want to stay connected with my clients. So something that I always wanted to do, but was too nervous to do, I started doing little tutorials from home. I love doing makeup, but it was not something that I ever posted. So I kind of went out of my comfort zone with that, did that. And then, as you know, we did all of the interviews on the S Salon Beauty YouTube page. We got to interview some people, which is, again, outside of the box. So I think it was just redirecting that energy that usually goes into work into something positive and beneficial to us and our clients. But yeah, and then coming back into it, it's been good because you got that time to really focus on, okay, what about just being at home do I love? And what do I want to make sure I can maintain when I go back into the salon? I feel like it's really easy for stylists to stay later, push themselves, I'll work on my off day to get you in, that sort of thing. And I think that having the opportunity to really reflect on your time and what you want out of life was really good.
So in a way, from what I know of you, and I want to share it with the world of beauty and the world that you can go back to work and you don't have to work the same hours that you did before. You don't have to spend hours and countless hours to make the same amount of money that you need in order to have the lifestyle that you want. It's a different thinking. All of you guys came back into the world of like, okay, let's test it out. I think you were the first salons to actually go back. I think Fairbanks went back in the very first in May, actually. So, right?
Yeah. We got the okay a little bit.
You are the leaders of testing things out, shift, split shift, this is working, this is not working. But more than anything, for you guys, you took a whole different approach. You took the game to a whole different level. You said to yourself, I am not going to work my bum off in order to have a nice lifestyle. If anything, I'm going to have a lifestyle and plan it that my work helps my lifestyle instead of me being a slave to work. Is that something that resonate, and that's what you practice right now?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's really easy to get wrapped up in work and kind of push your personal life to the side because it's like, oh, there's always next month. Well, next month comes, you're making adjustments, other things, kind of going back on your own word, your own promises, and having the opportunity to really see that split between my life. I have a home life and I have a work life. I love my clients, but I love my family and myself, my own me time. I think that was really good.
That's great. So Scott, you've always been a huge philanthropist, and you're always I think that's something that is embedded within your DNA. That's very important to develop the community and develop philanthropy. And so over the past few years, you have done a few great events, but you have one event that I was a guest in your event, and I thought that was amazing. And I love that because even the picture behind you reflect that vibe of what you guys were doing at that time. Do you want to tell us a little bit about philanthropy before COVID and philanthropy today? Did it stop? Is it keep going?
Yeah. So comes down to, who we want to work around and what did they want to do. And my staff, I'm very fortunate since the very beginning of this team, we've been giving back doing wigs for free with the Wigs and Wishes program and fundraising for that. But not only the wigs part, but murals around the downtown area, husbands of team staff members and themselves coming and painting a wall on an ugly building downtown and us putting artwork on it. We're an art studio as well as a hair salon because we love the inspiration. It's fun to bring the community in every other first Friday and before COVID. And but now we got the virtual first Friday, so now everybody out there can plug in. We're gonna have one next first Friday.
It never stops. It never stops.
So yeah, we don't take any commission from when we sell it. We donate all that money to Wigs and Wishes, and then we put on multiple events: Beer and Wigs, Unified Beauty presents Wigs and Wine, about 16 different murals in the downtown area, breast cancer awareness. We put on concerts. It's just like, I guess we always have some sort of philanthropy iron in the fire because it brings me joy, and I think it brings all my staff members joy.
Spin for a Cause.
Spin for a Cause just raised $500 for domestic violence. It's something very important. So over the last few years, since we've been putting on so many events and we bring up amazing hairstylists, basically we created this thing called Unified Beauty. where we try to attract the best in our industry. We pay them their value, so we help uplift our industry that way. They come into Fairbanks or Alaska, and we allow for the whole state to be educated cheaper than if they flew down and took classes at that person's studio. So I try to keep it like $200-250 to have 2 days hands-on classes. We brought up DJ Muldoon, Nicholas French is coming up, and Charlie Price, and a couple other amazing hairstylists. And so what we end up doing is we have a meeting once a year. I just invite all the hair salon owners in town and be like, hey, what do you guys want? And then who do we want to get back to? Because I think with that, it brings a commonality, and then other salons are totally bought in because it brings in education and they get to bring joy to their staff. And so Unified Beauty is really unique. We have about 15 different salons in the state of Alaska working together to where we have Nicholas French on deck for coming up and teaching some avant-garde styles, which we're really excited because we ultimately want to use those for Naha and do full circle with taking advantage of that. But so all these salons come together and we raise money for what the need is, and domestic violence is a big need of ours, and I think we're going to focus on that. Mental health has been big. Wigs and Wishes has been big. Hair to Stay, that's something at our hearts right now. Really want to support that nonprofit. And so last year, I think we raised almost $75,000 in 1 year. And
that's unbelievable. And you're not stopping this year. You also are doing a lot of your events. You host a lot of art shows in the salon, which is fun and it's great. But you're keeping it all obviously safe. Anika, what was the part that you said to yourself, okay, I definitely want to work for the salon? And if you can give us some sort of advice to any stylists out there and how to find the perfect home for themselves.
Yeah, so I was living in Tennessee. I knew I was going to be moving to Alaska. And so I was snooping around, looking at websites, looking at what the different salons in Fairbanks did. And I came across S Salon, and I really liked the message that they had on their website. I followed their Facebook. I was kind of stalking them from afar. My parents had moved up here prior to me moving here. They were here about 8-9 months before me. So my mom needed a haircut, and I was like, hey, go to this salon. Let me know how it was. So
I don't think I knew that story. That's a great story.
I let my mom in. So she had a really good experience. My mom has like a short pixie cut, and a lot of people will give her like a mom haircut rather than like the kind of edgy textured cut she was looking for. So she came in and she was very pleased with her haircut, which, that's a good sign. They're educated. They are listening to their clients. And she was like, and it's so nice in there. And I was like, really? Okay. So I had the data when I was moving. I reached out to Scott, sent him, my resume, some pictures of my work, and we set up a time. So I got here to Fairbanks on like a Friday. And I want to say the following week I came in and grabbed my resume. And Scott has like kind of an extensive interview process. You get your application, kind of see the salon, come in for a hangout. All the girls kind of get to give you feedback, or not me. I making the feedback. He got the feedback of what they thought of each stylist, and then you come hang out for a day. You do a model, and just hearing all of the opportunities he was talking about, and the fact that he pays for education, he supports you in like your dreams. So like first year I was here, I was able to enter in Naha thanks to Scott. He hired a photographer. He paid for the entry. It was just, when I found out that he paid for education, which was something that I really wanted, I wanted to grow in the industry. I was just super stoked on that. I just was like, cool. And then all of the extra things, I started here, and I want to say 2 weeks later was the
Beer and Wigs.
Beer and Wigs, yeah. So
second one, I think.
Second year, yeah. So it was just instantly, we're doing things for the community. We're doing things for the stylists. And I was like, okay, this is it. This feels like a good fit. It was not something that I knew existed, if that makes sense. It was never, this sort of structure wasn't something I knew was out there. I only heard of commission. I only heard of like booth rental. I had paid for all my own hair shows in the past, and like you're kind of you're each growing your own career. And I don't think that in my previous salons it was like that. It was, we're all kind of focusing on ourselves. If you want to go to a hair show, cool, go do it. But here it just feels like you're constantly just being not pushed but encouraged, like, yes, go do that, go grow your education. Oh, you want to learn more about curly hair? I'll send you to Anchorage. Just stuff like that. So just knowing all of the things that they did for the community and within the salon, I was just like, yeah, this is a good fit, and it's been a good fit. I've been very happy.
And Anika's an ideal employee. Like we were really blessed to have her part of the team, especially at that timing. And she's really the ideal employee and what we're looking for when we're recruiting our staff members. Somebody that's flexible, somebody that's driven, somebody that's smart, somebody that's passionate and caring. And so, we're really lucky to have her. A couple memories is she had the dropsies the first couple times. I think during our event, there's a big old round table that shattered. And like, she's really cool. She's a great stylist. She got the dropsies.
I'm extremely clumsy. It was, and that was so embarrassing. But it's never moved past it. I had forgotten about it until this moment, but that's fine.
Well, it's so funny because everybody has their own quirks, right? And that's what makes it all be so delicious. I think the cocktail is amazing, but by now, the two of you, by now what makes the team really successful. And yes, of course, we can talk about leadership from here until tomorrow, but leadership, we're not born leaders. We learn how to become better. It's just like parents, we becoming better. There is no parent school. There is no a place where you get certification to be a better parent. It's just something that you learn. Now, but we do the right things. So in order to have a really good team, Anika and Scott, what do you know today, more than yesterday, that it takes to build a good team? What's the foundation? And in a way that we can actually send out a message to all the stylists and all the salons, if they can change something or reinvent or reimagine a lifestyle that works for them, a company that works for their lifestyle, what do they need to have, or how would they recruit?
I would have to say you need to find like-minded people with the same values and goals. Because if you have a bunch of stylists in one salon who they see their career going all these different directions, you can't really build yourself together to get those, because you're not heading in the same direction.
So what are the same commonalities that you guys share in your company that makes it work for you?
So I think that we've all shared our whys with each other. And if you're a stylist out there and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, is find out your why. And, why do you get up and go comb hair and do that? Is it to connect? Is it to do the artwork? What is it? There's so many different variables. And so we know each other's whys. I know her daughter, I know her husband. They're just a family that is striving to be an amazing family. And their personal goals, like we share all that with each other. We do the storyboards, thanks to the Salon Cadence, seems elementary, but at the same time, cut out some pictures and stick some glue on it and stick it on a board, and voila, all of a sudden you kind of see your life in front of you.
So tell me, share with me the vision board. So what's in your, I know you're saying you got to know your why, but what does that mean? So for example, are we talking about the perfect week, or are we talking about why we love being hairdressers?
Yeah, exactly. I guess ask yourself that. How you want to live your life and how you want to live your business life. Kind of like Anika was breaking down earlier. She's got two of them, and how can they interweave, and how can one support the other? I guess.
I think that the two tie in together, finding what you love about doing hair, but also use that as a platform for your perfect day, your perfect week. So what do you want to see in your chair throughout the day? How do you want your day to be structured so that it can flow smoothly, you can feel happy, your clients are happy? And then how can you separate from that, go back home and enjoy your personal life?
Got it. So basically, if you could have the perfect week, to work, what would it look like? Would it be working 30 hours, 40 hours, 50 hours, or what would it be like to be work a whole year? How many days off do you want? What do you want to do with those days off? Is that what we're talking about? It's like what kind of a lifestyle you want to have, and how your profession, your career can serve it, and as a team together. Is that the perfect week vision board? Yeah.
I think adding to
Yeah.
it.
Now, so many people will say, Scott and Anika, many people says, I can, and I hear that because we teach and we work with hundreds of salons, and we hear at the beginning, they say, well, how can I afford it? I mean, I have to work. I have to grind right now because I have to, and I would say, well, what's now different than 6 months ago? You still had to grind. You still have to do things. But how can they afford a certain lifestyle?
I think structuring your day to be the most profitable is the best way of going about it. I was working Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 4 before quarantine. When we came back from quarantine, we were doing that, and then we realized, okay, maybe we need to do split shifts. Well, then we all sat down. We were like, if we were to do this, we need to make sure that it's serving each of us appropriately. We don't want to stress anybody out. We don't want you to feel overwhelmed. And so we were able to take that opportunity to just sit down and say, like, what would work best for your life? What would work best for your life? And so going into it, and now I work Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, 9 to 7. So I work longer days, but I found a way that within those hours, I'm making the most money possible. I'm double booking. I'm doing add-on services, that sort of thing. We're just figured out how to make the most of our time so that, okay, yes, I've just applied highlights. Normally I would go sit and wait for that to process through. Now, okay, we applied highlights. Let's do a men's cut real quick. Let's pop a toner on another client. Let's do a root touch-up. It's just making the most of the time while you're in the salon so that when you're outside of the salon, you don't have that hanging over your head of, I need to make more money. Well, I made as much money as I could yesterday. It was a good day. And now I can separate from that and just focus on what I'm doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Scott, it's the same for you. I'm sure as an owner, you look at numbers just like Anika as well. Knowing your numbers is the key, and then knowing how to be profitable with your time.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been blessed to be able to have more office time because I'm one of the stylists, so I'm on split shift. So the communication back and forth has been something we've been forever working on right now to make sure it's just always on point, because our daily getting together is probably the most impactful thing that we have to offer, is those ideas in that 15 minutes before work every day. So we've gone virtual with that, and now I'm at home and we're looking at numbers more often. Right now we're on the show, but I should be allocating my money for the week. I'll do it right after this, and then we get the numbers done with at the beginning of the week, so then we can focus on what we need to do this week to hit our goals. And then so I feel like we always want to be a step ahead, and with this time I'm allowed to have more thinking time, not as much time behind the chair and planning ahead, basically strategizing.
Yeah. And so I think one of the challenges that a lot of salons are experiencing, and maybe we can speak a little bit about that, is how do you stay together? How do you still keep that bind that you guys had before, where there are split shifts? What are the things that you think that are so crucial and so important to keep the togetherness together?
This is very new. I think we implemented this maybe a month ago, so we're still figuring it out. I feel like at first we did huddles every single day prior to quarantine. So every single day we show up 15 minutes before our first client. We go over our numbers for the day, our goals for our month. Here's your new clients. Well, what have you guys been up to? What does your weekend look like? And there was all these little conversations that we were having that kept us really close. And when we initially went into split shifts, that everyday connection wasn't there. And now we reflected on that. We're like, we really need to stay connected. So now we're doing Zoom huddles. We have created our own private Facebook page where we post all our numbers in there. We can post things on there, talk to each other. And then just open communication, like, hey, if you do need to talk to any of us, like, reach out to the other shift. We're still here. We just can't be there in person.
That's great. What are you going to do to even go deeper into getting communication, deeper in getting together? Because it looks like with COVID situation, this is not going to be over anytime soon, and it might change a lot of things for the next few months. What are you planning to do regarding keeping the momentum going and the love going?
Is to be focused on it, really, to think about it and to build and be creative with the process and see what the staff needs. You know, during the first part of it, it's all transition and it's all an emotion, and everybody has different emotions. And we actually kind of had a boiling point this week where we needed to just regroup and sit down, and we were all like, we just need to have pizza with each other and like say hey, and like actually be in the same room for a minute. So we social distance properly and, you know, take all those kind of steps. But just to be physically in the same building, I think that was really important. So we're going to do that more often and do it safely. And I'm just going to be talking basically to the staff, especially the staff shift that I'm not part of, you know, calling them, checking in, but also respecting their time off. So being strategic about doing it while they're working and they have a minute in between their guests or however it works. So it's never ending, day to day.
Never ending day to day, but it's nice to be in a place. I mean, I spoke to Anika yesterday. She was, we both were StreamYard from each other's home, and it was really nice to see you, Anika, with your family in the background, beautiful home, beautiful grounds, and able to do that. So I feel like part of the connection of having the balance between being with your family and being with your friends, and then balance it with work is what makes it work, especially today, you know, for everybody. So what can you guys give we're coming into 15 minutes right now, and what guys can you say the last couple of things that you can give to the world between stylists and salons, individual stylists, beauticians, anybody out there? What are the things that you can give, maybe 1 or 3 tips of how to create happiness on a daily basis and work towards not a burnout model?
I would say we keep talking about it, but figuring out your why. Why are you doing this? What part of this industry makes you happy? And try to fill your day with that.
Mine is, what brings you joy? You know, what guest at your chair brings you joy, and focus on getting those guests in your chair. Who do you want to be around day to day, not from coworkers, but also from guest point of view, and go do something about it to go get those guests. Go hang out wherever they are, or go donate your time to them. And you will build the cool thing about our industry is like we get to be artistic and creative, but we also get to connect everybody, the whole community, and they all sit in our chair. So why not take that to your advantage and reach out to people that are difference makers? That's who I look for.
Yeah. And then say writing out your goals and figuring out a way to achieve them. Don't just write them down and stick it in a drawer. Write it down and continuously remind yourself where you want to end up, and just figure out how to get there.
I love that. I think that's so important. Goals are, if you're high achievers, you cannot work without goals. So setting up goals is really important. Well, thank you guys. This was really great working together. I've seen you guys both grow. So I love that. I am so amazed about how you approach every day and how you're thriving even in times like today, and how you're personalizing the experience that everybody is getting to get today. I think it's really important that you listen to your staff more than ever right now. You come closer together and make decision. And if we can call it, it's a collective leadership approach. I think everybody is a winner. So, yeah.
I wanted to thank you, Ronit, for all that you provided during lockdown, and all the Salon Cadence members, that we were able to bounce each other's ideas and communicate with each other to just have support, because that's really, really awesome. And I wanted to thank the American Beauty Show of Chicago, because it was really unique listening to all these different interviews and having the ability to get advanced education with all the people that you guys had, and be able to stay connected and filter all that professional advice. So that was really imperative, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Scott. You were very, very influential in that whole process. We were on the phone so many times asking you, Scott, what should I talk about in that show? Who should I bring into that show? What do you think I should do? And you were very close to me in that time, and inspiring me and helping me to move forward, because I had no idea what I was going to do on that show, or how to even go live, right? So now it's so much easier. And of course, we learned through the process, but thank you so much for those kind words. You're amazing, and Anika, from day one that I saw you, I already knew what are you made of. And so it's nice to see where you are today. So together, you guys are rocking it. Your staff is amazing. Your salon is beautiful. I love all the artwork that you guys always into. So, all right, guys, stay tuned. Say that again.
If you want to become a member, ssalonstudio.com.
Yeah.
Monthly member.
Yeah, everybody, this is where we can find you, ssalonstudio.com. Anybody who wants to become a member of Scott Salon and Anika, please join in, go to their website and sign in to be a member of their club, because it's a fun club and you won't regret it. Anybody there in Fairbanks, and of course, I'm going to fly right there and be one of yours. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for joining Huddle Time with Ronit. For anybody who have any questions, have any challenge, please reach out to me. You can get me on my Instagram, on my website, on my Facebook. You can reach me directly on messaging. However you want, I'm very flexible, and I will answer any questions that you have right now. If anybody has any challenges, you know where to get us. But stay tuned for next Monday. We have a great guest. Actually, next Monday, we're off. We are off. It's Labor Day weekend, so we are not going to be on the show. But the week afterwards, we're coming back strong. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you for showing up. Kim, I hope you got a lot from it today. I know I have learned a lot from this today. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. I will see you in exactly 2 weeks, 2 o'clock, with very special guests. We're going to talk about the 2 things that you can do today to completely secure your financial stability or sustainability and scaling in the environment today. I'm so excited to bring Leon Alexander, and he has so much to share with you on what you need to do today in the service industry, in the beauty industry. So I'll see you then. Have a great time. Scott, Anika, stay tuned. Don't leave. But I'll see you then. Bye, guys.